Hello, hi, I'm Lady Adimbala. Welcome to Melanin and Havinoid Live. I have been a targeted individual for the past 15 years, at least I've realized for the past 15 years. And targeted individuals are individuals that have particularly been targeted for oppression, for persecution, and for concentrated attack, mental attack, physical attack, emotional attack. And of course, that is done through sometimes, most times, legal attack, personal invasion of privacy, attack by radiation and chemicals, and all kind of attack. Well, the gang stalking program, as I've already said, is a crime against humanity. The gang stalking program is being carried out by individuals that have sold their soul to Satan. And these individuals, unfortunately, they have infiltrated our government system, our governmental system. But mind you, this is not an attack on any nation's governmental system. But what I have said is that they are infiltrators in the governmental system, which means they're innocent people still in the governmental system, but they're infiltrators, manipulating from within. Well, the gang stalking program is not something, a figment of somebody's imagination, and probably somebody just woke up and start afflicting everybody and target certain individuals and start harassing them. No, there is a purpose for this. The gang stalking program is satanically backed up, which means they are actually satanic armies preparing the world for the rule of the Antichrist. Well, the ones that are targeted are the ones that have been sensitized, that are not bowing to the demonic system, which means we are the ones, I say we because I'm included, we are the ones that are actually refuse to be socially mind controlled like most people today. We are also the individuals that have not compromised our dignity and our integrity. Though the gang stalking program is a program of deception and lies, they want to present every targeted individual as criminally oriented or inclined or whatever, slandering our character, the formation of our character, and all kind of things. All these are just bullshit they create just to deceive the already deceived individuals to believe that the innocent is actually the guilty. Well, my video blog was actually motivated by the gang stalking program that I also found myself thrown into, at least realized I've been thrown into 15 years ago. And of course, the racist system, which also I found out later. And I realized, as I've always said, that racism is not the hatred of one individual to another or one race to the other. Racism is actually a system inculcated in the mind of man. Why? Racism is as a result of slavery. Well, before slavery, the melanin race were doing very, very well in Africa, the African continent. I already spoke about the melanin race that migrated from Israel to Africa. They are the same melanin skin tone that was actually attacked and was sought out for slavery. Why? It's the same slave that was in Egypt in those days that they got liberated through Moses and they went to Israel. And when they were in Israel, Jesus told the Israelite that the Roman army was going to invade Israel and they should flee. And when the melanin race fled, they fled to Africa. Actually, Jesus Christ actually advised them to flee towards the north, which is towards Africa. So they fled to Africa, they took over the West Africa, and since then the black continent has been doing so well because we are actually the chosen generation, the royal priesthood, the only nation, the peculiar people that has been called to actually glorify the name of our Creator. But while we are busy multiplying, we become entrepreneurs. This is actually before slave trade. So don't misunderstand me. The bullshit in history book is just bullshit to confuse people, to derail people from the truth, and to make people actually see something actually different from the truth. Well, I will just pause for a moment while I allow you to see this. I'll be back. Hello, welcome to Melanin and Happiness Life. I am Lady Abimbola. Welcome to my vlog again. As most of you know, I'm an activist against the gang stalking program, the racist system, and the abuse of the human race. I'll be making video reviews on my website, Melanin and Happiness Life. I make reviews on books, but now I'll be making video review. Of course, it's not written review. Video review concerning the racist system. Well, unfortunately, most of the Melanin history has been turned upside down. Most of the culture um, that actually tells who we really are has been turned upside down. Why don't we make this review together, and as we read, you understand so much about the Melanin people. Ride along with me as we dig deeper into the Melanin history. Welcome back. So, as I was saying, basically, before the slave trade, I don't mean the slave trade in Egypt, because after the slave trade in Egypt, we were liberated through the Red Sea, we were in Israel, we multiplied in Israel, and the Roman army invaded Israel, and we're back in Africa. Now, being back in Africa, which is part of Egypt continent, being back in Africa, we started multiplying, we started replenishing the earth, we started, by the stuff that we always have. And Africa was actually the continent that actually taught people how to write. Why you see Egypt is very, very important to all the satanists and Satan worshippers and secret societies, and the emblem of Israel. Egypt means a lot. Why? Because that's actually the focus point of power, of education, of beauty, of everything you can actually think of in the African continent. It's not part of Europe, it's not part of Africa, it's not part of any other continent than Africa. But when they talk about Egypt, they don't like to mention that as if it's separated. Egypt is not separated from Africa. Egypt is part of Africa. And those are the original Africans, okay? Before we Israelites came to West Africa. Well, anyway, after all this thing went on, we were teaching actually people how to read and write. We, the Africans, were teaching people how to read and write. But the lies and the lies in the history book is that we were taught to read and write by the albino. That's actually another fake news. Well, going forward, after we taught them how to read and write, our cultural system, and just the history, just the culture is so rich and profound. And after all those things and the slave trade happened, because actually we actually, the ones in Israel, are the ones that have been impacting the Melanin continent, which means while we were in Egypt, we were the one that actually inculcated all those things that happened, and we helped build Egypt and all those things. And when we went to Israel and we came back again, it's still the same thing that we actually helped build the continent. Before we're taken as slaves, and when we're taken as slaves, after the slave whatever, then the Melanin race saw things happening, because they exploit and they saw things happening. That you see, actually the main power, the goose with the golden egg, is actually the Melanin race. They are the goose with the golden egg, and what happens is that when you seize the goose, you take in captivity the goose, you can actually have all the golden eggs to yourself. And that's why the racist system was established. It was formed, it was well planned and established and inculcated in the mind of man. And how is it inculcated in the mind of man? Through a governmental system, through the school, through the media, through the social media, and through whatever network you can think of that actually controls the mind of man, and news and everything. And going into details, I don't need to go into details, you can figure it out yourself. Like for example, in the news, you can see some racial remarks or photographs, for example, okay, let's look at when they have theaters and everything, and a white person painting their face black with a white lip. That actually is offensive to the melanin race, but it's been done. But when a melanin does something similar to that, then you're racist. Like for example, I've seen people say, oh, she's racist and everything like that. I don't count myself to be racist, but I count myself to be somebody very angry against oppression and injustice. I hate injustice, I hate oppression, because also I'm a target of oppression and injustice. I'm in a court case right now concerning the theft of my property illegally. It was a premeditated theft of my property. All I worked for so many years, and so many other things that I'm actually combating every day, apart from being harassed, being persecuted, being lied against, my properties being stolen, being continuously sabotaged on whatever I do. So the thing that happened is that over and over again. But now to go forward with so basically, the melanin race, who are actually a very rich, cultured race, prim and proper, the epitome of beauty, of grace, very rich culture, very healthy and very strong DNA, and whatever you can think of. The melanin in our body itself, it makes us superior humans. And just because of this very factor, not just the melanin, but the greatness in us as a race has made us a target of oppression. But you see, somebody can target you to oppress you, to take what belongs to you. But the thing is that, you don't just give up your goods easy like that. The racist system was formed in this mannerism that they don't want the cow, but they want the milk. They want all we have to offer: our strength, our intelligence, our creativity, our culture, everything that comes with even our body, even our blood. Melanin pills are being made with the melanin blood that is stolen from the melanin people in the hospital. When they steal your blood as a melanin person, they're making melanin pills with it that is secretly sold. The melanin pills are sold, but the pills are made only from melanin. And where the only place you can get melanin is in the melanin blood. So basically, they don't want the cow, they want the milk. And you see, just like we usually talk about those days and everything, don't give up your goods very easy. A man that wants you and loves you for who you are, you wait for me till the marriage and you respect me for my desire. But if you're not willing to respect me, please make a U-turn and face somewhere else. But in this instance, that is actually what the melanin race have, the kind of vulnerable position the melanin race have been put into, that they don't want us as a race because of our superiority, because of all we have to offer, but they want what we have to offer. And this is actually something that we have to start standing against, because they want it so much, they formed a system. This system is to continuously slander our character, place us in a class with bad name, false accusation, to ridicule us. Just, it's an eternal bullyism. When you bully somebody, it's a crime, but it happens every day, and I don't see everybody that commits bullying against the melanin race going to jail. And right now, with our brothers and sisters in America, so with our brothers and sisters in America and every other place, but mostly in America that we are preoccupied about, and every other place you can think of, that is continuously being shot, being harassed, and you have this community watch guards that they declare themselves to watch over the community, and their target is always the melanin race. A young boy, promising young boy was killed. Not just one, several of our young men are being shot, and why? You know, and they always defend either their policemen or their guards or security or whatever they call themselves, watchmen, vigilante group or whatever. How come this group, the only people they shoot are the black people, are the melanin people? Because you see, this is not something, they're not doing anything to, it's just like when they wage war on terrorism. What, I mean, terrorists cannot wage war against terrorists. You understand? It's not possible. When you are a terrorist, you cannot say, who are you waging war against? You can't wage war against yourself. So we find a race that, you know, is like attack before defense, attacking us continuously, stressing us out continuously, oppressing us continuously. Even our little children in school is being defiled. Either they are defiling them psychologically, emotionally, breaking down our children's spirit as they break down our own spirit every day through police brutality, harassment, false accusation, defamation of our character. You can just enter a train now. The first person they come to look for is a black person, you know, as if, you know, you are whatever. You go into a store, you even find a melanin security come after a black person. I'm not saying, you know, some blacks don't get involved with those kind of silly things. I do understand that, but the whole race are not into that. But it's not just if one or two is guilty. That's not what they're trying to do. The system is to make all of us look guilty of a crime, even if you're not guilty of a crime. I know this. There have been attempts to set me up to destroy my legal status. I don't have any criminal record. I have never been incarcerated before in my life. I have never done anything criminally against the, you know, any law in my life. I'm 47 years old. I've never done anything wrong. But the thing is that there have been several attempts to actually incriminate me into a crime. But this is the system. They want to blacklist every one of us as a race. They want to stigmatize us, place us in a class of a bad name. And I believe enough is enough. You see, so many people have been coming. Somebody like Martin Luther King came and, you know, it was sidetracked. Maybe he willfully collaborated, or maybe they deceived him also. You know, he actually preached a non-violent protest. How can you get something done when the person that is attacking you is being violent and they tell you not to be violent? I am being gang-stalked now. You have children gang-stalking me. Teenage, I'm old enough to be their mother. They gang-stalk me. They harass me. They almost want to bully me. I mean, of course, I respond to. You have adults doing that. You have old people doing that. You have white, black, any kind of race doing it, because it is a system made to destroy the willpower. I know they are fighting my willpower, you know, to destroy my willpower, but I don't give up my willpower very strong. The only will I have is the only right I have as a human being, and I will never give it up. My will power is not for sale. My soul is not for sale. It has never been for sale, and it will never be for sale. I'm sold out to my Creator God, and He is in control of my life. I believe that He is surrounding me with angels and is divinely protecting me and helping me all the way through this persecution, harassment, and oppression. But the thing is that when you have an oppressor being aggressive against you, you actually have committed no right, no wrong by actually giving an eye for an eye. Don't be deceived and don't let anybody, because I've seen wicked people quote Bible to me sometimes when they say, remember the Bible, remember God, and when they do something, they do me how they do terrible things to me, and they say, you remember the Bible? You see, when it's time for you to fight back, you remember the Bible, but they never remember the same Bible when they were harassing or doing terrible things to you. So that is a strategy. The melanin race must wake up. We're the best race on earth. We have a good heart and we have a forgiving heart. I believe you, if you actually turn the table, if we took the melanin as slaves and they have been released from slavery, I can bet you they are going to poison every one of us to our last generation. They're going to wipe us out of existence. They're going to blow our houses. They're going to do terrible things to us. But in this case, we are not even fighting them, but they are still fighting us after slavery. They're still fighting us, they're still oppressing us, they're still humiliating us, they're still denying us of you see, because now they think that when they place themselves in a position of power, they can rule, and that is what we've allowed them to do all this while. You have MLK, and you have Malcolm X. Malcolm X was saying an eye for an eye. If you harass me with a dog, I have the right to take a baton and kill your dog or kill you yourself. If you are aggressive towards me and you're a threat to my life, I have a right to defend myself. Why MLK was saying, oh, you don't have to defend yourself, peaceful demonstration. What peaceful demonstration? You are speaking with people. You want to talk to people that don't want to talk to you. They want to rule over you. They want to oppress you until you die. And even the child that was you are still carrying in your womb, already they've targeted that child for oppression, to be slaves under them. Don't misunderstand me. This is not an attack of oppressing somebody or attacking somebody. But enough is enough. Man, are we kidding here? For years upon years upon years upon years upon years, it's beyond human comprehension. How people can go for years of harassing, of attacking, of humiliating, of oppressing, of just destroying people's lives. And they see they don't give a damn. To them, it's a do or die affair. And I believe for the Melanin people, we have to start standing up for our rights and let it be a do or die affair. My properties has been stolen, and when I requested for who actually took the property, the custodian in charge of the storage actually told me who. If you watch my videos, you will know. And I'm in court against everybody, because I bought my property. I've never been involved with any criminal thing. But you see, when they are attacking you, they lie a lot. They twist the truth, and they try to present an innocent person as if you're dangerous, as if you've done something. That's why they're on your case. They're on my case because they found out that I have lots of property compared to most of my co-nationals around there, that they live 20 people in a house. They don't have anything than a suitcase or 2 or 3 or whatever. And the ones that even have, they just have a bunch of junks in their house. They live they live just like what they want them to live, like a slave. So I was one of the, I won't say the only, but one of the particular or peculiar Melanin that lives here in Italy. I have lots of stuff, and because of that, I was an easy target for the gang stalking program, because they don't want an image of a Melanin person that lives in a beautiful house, have everything, and has never committed any crime. No. That is not the image they want to see. The image they want to see is an image created of Melanin like begging, is going around organization looking for food stamps and everything like that. And when they see the ones that don't do that, they attack you. That's, you see, when I talk about placing videos, registry in hotel rooms, in private rooms and everything like that, please don't ever in your wildest imagination just think I'm talking about myself alone. This is what I do generally. I'm not just exposing what I'm going through. I'm telling you, because they're not just doing it to me. You are also involved in the situation of attack. You go to hotel rooms, of course, what you don't know don't hurt you. You understand? Probably you watching me, if you're not aware of the program, you can go to a hotel room. You want to take your shower, you put on your clothes, you do whatever you want in your hotel room, believing that you are, you are closed up with walls and a door. But when you realize the program, the first thing I do when I get into an hotel room, because my phone, these people, you see Big Brothers. We all live like Big Brothers, where they invade our privacy to the intimate part. These are crazy psychopaths, satanists, that they're not human, they are demons in human body. And what they do is that when I get to the hotel, the first thing I have a cam detector. And also you can do this when you get to an hotel room, close all the windows, put off all the light, and look around. If you can see, very tiny, it will not be big, very tiny red light. It can be blinking, it can just be fixed, but just look carefully. You can look at every, you know, screws in the room, near the door, in the light switch, the air conditioner, the fire detector. The fire detector also sometimes are cameras, and you can just look around in your bathroom, look around, and in the mirror of the bathroom, if you put your hand and it has it does not have reflection, you know that there's a mirror behind. I mean, there's a camera behind the mirror. You know, I'm not saying everywhere it's like this, but it happens. So I'm just telling you just to be mindful of what is happening. The gang stalking program is actually real. The racist system is real. They're killing people, they're destroying people's lives, they're poisoning people, and it has to stop. The melanin race has been a target of oppression, oppression, and the melanin race have been a target of being exploitation for a very long time. Like I, as a person, my work is being sabotaged continuously. Why? While I was working as a collaborator for the Italian citizen, for the albino citizen, I'm making money for them and getting percentage. Well, I was a very good person, but now I'm using the same work I used for them to get money for them for myself, to get money for myself. Since I went to school, of course, I make the money for myself. Now I'm a criminal, I'm an harlot, I'm this, I'm terrible, I'm a tourist, and they need to, you know, they need to deport me, they need to do this, all of a sudden, I'm all these terrible things, because now I refuse to be exploited. Now I refuse to be used by others. Instead of being used by others, I create my own outlet. They sabotage me from getting work from them, but you don't need to sabotage me from working. I am educated. I have the power of education. So I have created my own work, but they still will not let me be, because this is a terrible race that exploit people, that oppress people, that destroy people if need be. And this is the high time Africans must begin to stand up for their right. First of all, look within. We have everything to be great. Push away from Africa every leech that is in our continent and just sucking our lives out. Every leech. Instead of you selling cocoa to them, why don't you, with all the billions the president steal, why don't you begin to build things and make chocolate? Or if not chocolate, refine the cocoa. You refine the cocoa and sell a refined cocoa to them, which will be more expensive. Because when you sell raw cocoa to them, they'll be making times billion of what you're selling to them. Make a refined cocoa and sell it to them. Our petroleum, start making 2,000 million years contract. Why should you make a 1 million years contract, 10 years contract? Why? Make 1 year contract, renewable. If you think they're playing according to whatever, fine, you go ahead and renew. If not, you don't. Let our resources feed us. We have enough. They put us at the face of poverty. How can you put somebody feeding the whole world as the face of poverty? I do not understand. I don't understand. Every nation, every continent in the world feed from Africa. Feed from Africa. Get their wealth from Africa. But we are the face of poverty. Is that, I mean, what is going on here? What is going on here? But the Africans, as long as you continue to sleep, you will continuously get exploited. You continually get exploited. They push us out of work. They deny us from working. They sabotage from. We are targeted. Most of the graduates I know, at least here in Italy, that I know, they're either jobless or almost homeless. They're either jobless, and they are not because they don't know anything. But these are the people that have the power of education. Push those ones out of the way, and it is very easy to deal with the illiterate. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Michael Jackson has already said it. They don't care about us. There is a racist system against us, and the system is totally, completely melanin race. So basically they know what they're doing. When you push the well-read and educated melanin out of the way, you target them for oppression and sometimes, most times, to be killed, to be sick, to be killed, or just cripple their usefulness, their educational power. Once they can do this, then it is very easy to deal with the non-educated melanin. Why? Because you see, during the slave trade, we have two sets of slaves. You have the house slaves, and you have the field slave. The field slaves are the ones that always want to escape. They are the ones that always attempt to escape. They are the ones that always, even though they get caught, they always attempt to free themselves from oppression. But the house slave, they never attempt. Why? Because the master gives them the used panties, the used shoes. They give them like a bone. They finish eating on the table and they give them the leftover. But they are so conditioned in their mind that they feel evil, they feel privileged to eat the remains of their master. Unlike the slave in the field, that they just give them anything to eat to have enough power to continue to work. But they eat differently, not better, but differently in the sense that they eat everything their oppressor eats, but they just throw in the remnant. They don't even give that remnant to the dog because it's so whatever for the dog that they just give them the remnant, and they feel very pleased, and they never attempt to escape. But the irony of the matter is that even if the field slave actually tells them that, look, we have to escape this oppression, this is not human, this is dehumanizing, they go to snitch on the field. The house slave go to snitch on the field slave. That's what we have today. Amongst the melanin, some have been so messed up in their mind that they will snitch against their own brothers and their own sisters. Not because that brother or sister is doing anything, just because they are the home slave. Home slave does not mean better. Home slave just means they are mentally enslaved. They don't see anything wrong with oppression. They don't see anything wrong of being oppressed. In fact, they think oppression is a big privilege. So I have to leave now because my train just arrived. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us much. So I'm in the train right now. So anyway, I'll just end on this note that this is my own way to actually wake up the melanin race. It's not an attack, and I'm not giving any apology for anything because I don't think I've said anything wrong. There have been movies, there have been films, there have been news, there have been advertisement, there have been everything inculcated even in the system to ridicule, to insult, to offend, to disrespect the melanin race. But I believe as long as we continue to actually accommodate this disrespectful, offensive, and very, very wicked words on us as a race, it's just like somebody doing evil. The more you give them the chance to do evil, well, the more territory they gain, the more comfortable they become with oppressing the melanin race. Now we have not just days, not weeks, not months, years and decades and centuries that we've given to this oppression. That means we're not just going to start fighting back oppression, disrespect, offenses, and all this tearing down of our race, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and every way you can think of. Our children are being miseducated in schools, and the whole world is being miseducated about the race. We're being stigmatized and placed in a class with a bad name. Not because we've done anything, but because that's what the racist system is all about. And I believe if we start fighting back and destroying the system that's chosen to destroy us for centuries, then I think we'll be creating a better tomorrow for our children and our children yet unborn. I am Lady Abimbola, and as I always say at the end of all my videos, that the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed, because the mind is the center point. That's where you can succeed, and that's where you can actually be enslaved to, even how to destroy yourself. They are not joking around with us. There's been a lifetime of mind control to control our own mind as a race, to destroy ourselves and the other people around, for them to be conditioned and see us as a race, placed in a class with a bad name. Well, I have chosen to stand up and fight for my own right. I am not a slave. I will never be in fear. I will never submit to oppression. I will never, ever accept my human rights to be taken away from me. I will never accept to be disrespected, and I will never accept to be abused by any individual, any system, any authority, any government for no reason. I am not a slave. I am Abimbola. I'm Lady Abimbola, speaking for Melanin and Harbinoid Live. Thank you for listening to me, and I will see you in my next vlog. Thank you and bye.